Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. Okay guys, how are you? So we are moving on to the bonus work, okay? So we are in level 1, and this is going to be the first bonus, but it is, week 3, and we've done a whole bunch of stuff already, but the bonus materials that I add to Alcyone Light Healing are not mandatory. So if you're somebody that's overwhelmed, or you're somebody that already kind of knows this stuff or does this stuff, you don't have to watch it and do it. But it is stuff that I feel will make a difference and will help you to change your life if you're somebody that is not doing it or is not aware of it. And even just doing these things anyways, even if you're already aware of them, if you're not doing them, it's going to make a difference, okay? So for the bonus, like for week 3, we're going to have the bonus root chakra, bonus work, and daily practices. And then there's going to be a bonus meditation to be connected to the present moment. And then there's a bonus meditation to do a Kundalini Awakening. And again, all 3 of those things are not mandatory. I know some people get freaked out about Kundalini. We're going to talk more about that in a few minutes, but it's not necessary for you to do it if you feel like you're not ready for that, or for whatever reason, or if you feel like you want to skip it, go ahead. And it's also going to always be there. Once I put these things up, they're going to always be there, so you can always come back at the end and do your bonus stuff. You know what I mean? Especially if you just started and you're like trying to catch up. Skip the bonus stuff, catch up with us, and then go back and do the bonus stuff when you feel like you have some time. But we, moving forward after this level, because this level was a little different. I had the intro video in this level, and it was a pretty long one because I was going over everything. I never told you specifically to do the daily practices, and I never went over the daily practices with you. So moving forward, every level, like level 2, level 3, level 4, the first video that I put out will have the daily practices and an explanation for you to get going so that you'll know. But I know some of you have already started doing the daily practices, and thank you, that's awesome sauce. But it's not like I ever told you to start doing it, so don't worry if you haven't, okay? Now, I feel like I'm just going to start with the daily practices, then we're going to talk about the root chakra, and then we're going to talk about the Kundalini. So this may be a little bit longer than my other videos, okay? But I am incorporating a lot of things here. So, the first part of the daily practices is right here on this page with the bonus work, and down on the bottom we have breathe consciously. And so breathing consciously is going to help you to get more connected to your body. It's going to help you get back into the moment. And so a lot of people breathe like they're not aware of their breath. And from the moment you were born, it was like you were taught to shallow breathe, okay? Because you come out of the womb, and a lot of times when people come out of the womb, it's like chaos. They cut the cord, they slap your ass, they're like, welcome to the world, and you're like, nah. And you shallow breathe, because you're like, holy shit, what the hell is going on? I was just like all safe in my little cozy thing, and now I'm out here. So you kind of like get set up from day one to have a natural like shallow chest type of breathing. But the way that we're supposed to breathe is to be breathing from our stomach, from down here, and to be like slow and relaxed and calm. But the way the world is, so many of us are running around like, oh my God, I gotta get there on time, and I gotta do this. And we're always up here in our chest. And just taking, a few minutes to be aware of it is gonna help you to kind of be like, to relax and just come back into your body, chill out. And I have a lot of women ask me specifically, like, how can I be more in my feminine energy? When I say, like, be in your feminine energy, lean back. Just being aware of things like that is going to help you to be in your feminine energy. And if you're a man, it's going to help you to calm down and slow down and be connected to your physical body more. Be aware of your physical body. Be aware of your surroundings. So many of us are constantly, like, looking in our phones or looking down or just, like, distracted. We don't pay attention to our body. We don't pay attention to our breath. We don't pay attention to these things, and because we don't pay attention, there's no consciousness there, and it's like we're wasting these opportunities to expand and to be more aware and to exercise our gifts and things like that. So that is the first part of your daily practices. And my daily practices, again, they are part of like the bonus stuff. It is not a requirement to have these things all done for your certificate, but I've given them to you to take what works for you and add it to your life, for your day-to-day things, because they're going to help you change your life. It's going to help you to manifest and help you to heal and all of that. So then we have chanting, humming daily to raise your vibration. So basically, you can go and you can Google different chants for different things. Okay, so like there's one with Ganesh to remove obstacles that I have, and back in the day I used to do that on a regular basis. I have like a little sticky note thing with it written down. It's like Om Gom Nam Padaye Namaha, and I know I didn't say that right, but basically it helps you to remove obstacles. Now my thing with the chanting is you can do it for basically any intention. You can, again, find one that resonates for you, and whatever one you find, hopefully it'll be like a website that's like gives you the information along with it of like how to pronounce it and what it does, because there's all different types. So just allow your intuition to guide you, or you can do the one for Ganesh to remove obstacles if you like. But basically, it's just like like I find this to be the case in a lot of things. If you want to remove obstacles, if you want to manifest abundance, if you want your twin flame union, if you want whatever it is you want, when you take something and add it to your physical world and you're like, I'm going to bring my awareness, my consciousness, and my intention onto this thing, and I'm going to do it just like a moon ritual or whatever, you're adding energy to it, you're giving time to it, and you're making it happen because of that. Because a lot of times we know what we want, but we spend so much time in resistance to it, or we spend so much time thinking it's not going to happen, and we just don't think about it at all. And that's why I feel like when I send out my candles, they help people because my intention is infused into the candle. I use, ingredients that are meant for that as well. But then every time the person sees the candle, it's like that little reminder of, oh yeah, like I'm manifesting that, and that's helping me to do it. That belief is helping them to believe that it's coming. And then when they, set the intention and light the candle, it's adding even more energy to it and more intention to it. And if they allow it to just go, they don't sit there as long as they don't create resistance, it usually comes. But that's that part of it too, is just doing it and then letting it go. Because a lot of times people get too super focused on stuff. They it's gonna come, it's gonna come, it's gonna come, it's gonna come, and it's chill out. For me, when I made my first twin flame candle, I was like, I'm gonna make a candle for love, and I put the 2 ingredients in that Spirit gave to me, and I poured it, and I was making candles for everybody else at that time, so I was not really super focused on it. It wasn't a huge hocus pocus moment. And then I poured it and did all my stuff. I came up here, sat down, and I got a message, and I was like, holy shit, the candle is not even hard yet, and it was working. And that's because I wasn't super focused on it. I wasn't having expectation on the outcome. I knew what my intention was. I gave energy to it. I knew what I was doing it for, but then I gave it over to the universe. I wasn't here it comes, and that's when it came. And I feel like those are the people who I get the best feedback from, are the ones who do it and then they let it go, and they forget about it, and they kind of give that time and energy. But then they come back and they see the candle. Oh yeah, there's the candle. Here it comes. And it's just a little reminder, so that you're not completely forgetting about it, but you're not completely super zoomed and focused on it either. So doing things like chanting and humming is the same concept. If you spend 5 minutes a day chanting to remove obstacles, and then you kind of just go on about your day, your intention was there, you gave energy to it, and then you let it go out to the universe, and the universe is going to deliver that back to you to remove those obstacles. So try not to be chanting 24/7, but add it to your daily routine, or just a couple days a week. It doesn't have to be every day. These are just things I'm giving you guys that can help you on a day-to-day basis. So with humming is again one of those things that can make you raise your vibration, because I don't know about you, but like if I'm in a good mood and I get goofy, I'm like, I make noises, I do weird shit. It basically can help you, you know, to raise your vibration. If you're not in a good place, humming is going to bring you back up to that higher place. Like when people are bringing my food, I'm like, get all excited. So it's like cellular memory. When I hum, my natural insides are like, whoa, we're going up. Like that means something good's coming. You know what I mean? So humming is also going to be good for those of you who are interested in light language, like chanting and humming, using your voice to connect and to, you know, express yourself are going to be like building blocks for those of you who feel like an inkling or draw to that type of thing, like light language. And just kind of let yourself go with like the humming. Like it doesn't have to be like a certain chant, it doesn't have to be a certain thing over and over. Just let yourself hum, okay? And then we have tap into Kundalini energy at the base of the spine. So when I say things like tap into the energy, basically it's like bring your focus to your spine, like the base of your spine where your root chakra is, and dependent upon what kind of gift you have will be dependent upon what type of focus you bring. So if you're somebody that's a seer, you might, you know, close your eyes and like envision this happening. If you're somebody that is feeler, then you're going to close your eyes and you're going to feel that awareness. Like the minute you like think about it, it's like, boing, there he goes. Okay. It's like you feel little tingles or something happening. If you're a knower like me, it may be a little bit difficult. I've noticed that my knowers are having a hard time because, especially those in the group, they're seeing everybody else with all these crazy experiences. Like, I went up there and I saw this blue being come out with a little thing and this and that, and they gifted me a thing that glows and moves and blah, 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 and all this crazy stuff. And then I've got people who are like, oh my God, I felt it here, there, and everywhere, and it did this, and it did that, and it rose over this, and it rose over that. And then I've got, you know, the people who can, sorry, I thought my dog was going to do something. I've got the people who can basically smell and taste the spirits. So then I've got people who can do it all, and they're like, okay, so I started off by seeing this, and I felt that, and then it tasted like this, and it smelled like that, and blah, 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 blah. And then I've got people who are knowers like me and are like, I'm not doing it, like I'm doing it wrong, or it's not happening for me. And that's not the case, because I know from experience, it took me so long to be able to even accept that like I was having a spiritual awakening. It took me so long to accept that I'm a starseed. It took me so long to accept, like, all right, it's Pleiadians connecting with me. I wanted so badly to, like, disprove all of this, too. I was like, this ain't real. This is crazy. Like, I'm schizophrenic. Something's wrong with me. Like, and it's because I don't have, like, visions like other people do. I don't have feelings like other people do. But it was like, I just kind of knew shit, and I was having little weird experiences, you know, happening. But like when I try, like when I went to my Reiki 1 class, when I went to my new paradigm, the basic class, I was in a class with people that were like seeing this big, huge thing happen and feeling all this craziness happen. And I'm like, they're like, so how was your experience? And I'm like, great. Like nothing happened. And it wasn't that nothing happened, because it definitely did, changed my whole life. But I wasn't just experiencing what they were experiencing, so I was comparing to them, and I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't see nothing, I don't feel nothing, like, it's not working for me, like, I must not be doing it right, you know, like, there must be some sort of block, you know, but I would always notice, like, a change, you know, like, I remember, like, leaving on the second day of like, new paradigm and walking outside, and everything was brighter, and everything was more beautiful, and everything was vibrant, and you could feel it inside of you, like, you can feel it happening, and you kind of just know, but you've got to trust. So if you're somebody that knows, you're going to have to trust with a lot of this stuff. Especially like with the visualizations, you know, like that's why I think for me as a channeler, and like when I create these meditations and activations, I can't just like sit down through someone else's meditation, because I don't really receive a whole lot. Like I know I receive, I know it, but I don't see a big huge thing. I don't feel all this craziness. There's only like one person that I've been to her event and I had visuals. and it was selenite and sound. She was playing singing bowls, and I had big huge selenite on me and stuff like that. But it's like, I gotta really try to see. And so now what I do is I use my knowing to help me to know what to see. I use my knowing to help me to know what to feel. So it's like, it's hard to explain, but it's like, I know what the sensation is, or I know what the taste would be, or I know what they would smell like, or I know what they look like. And you just got to trust it. And the more that you do it, like and especially for other people, like if you were to do like a reading for someone else and you just say everything that comes to mind without filtering yourself, and the people confirm it for you, that's how you're like, oh, okay, like I'm not making it up. I'm not crazy. You feel like you're making it up, and most of the time I doubt like there's so many times I don't want to publish a reading because I'm like, that's gonna suck. And then I get the comments and it's like, oh my God, thank you so much. That was exactly it. And all these people are like, that's my entire situation, word for word. And I'm thinking there's no way, but it happens. So you got to trust. But basically when I say tap into the Kundalini energy at the base of your spine, just any way that you can, bring your awareness there. If you're a knower and you're not feeling anything or seeing anything, just go through the knowing of it, okay? Just know that that's where your attention is, your intention is. That's all you gotta know. And then 10 reasons why you're grateful in general. So something that I used to do back in the beginning, like for my manifesting and all of that, was a gratitude journal. What I would actually do was, like on the 1st of the month, I would do one thing I was grateful for. 2nd of the month was 2 things. 3rd of the month was 3 things. 4th of the month was 4 things, and so on and so on. And then by like the 20th of the month, I was writing 20 different things I was grateful for that were different from the first, days that I was doing it. And the more you focus on gratitude, the more things show up for you to be grateful for. And in the beginning, you might struggle. You may be like, I don't know what I'm going to be grateful for. But it will eventually get easier, okay? So do that. And, just do whatever you can. In the beginning, there may be like, I don't know what to be grateful for. Just come up with anything. It could be the air that you're breathing. It could be the food that you ate. It could be the day of the week that it is. It doesn't matter. But as you focus on gratitude, what you're going to find over time is that there's going to be more things for you to be grateful for, and you're going to be more focused on that. So you're going to be like more aware of all of the great things that there are to be grateful for. So it will get easier with time. You may struggle for a little while, but you'll get, better at it. And so just 10 reasons a day, that's, I think, would be good to have a section in a notebook, or to have your own separate notebook for doing, affirmations and gratitude, because the last one on here is state affirmations in your journal daily for self-mastery and motivation. And you can do as many as you want, but because this is level 1, I wanted people to get into that place of motivated. Like, I am motivated, I am energized, I am happy, I am, capable, whatever words that feel right for you. And, self-mastery, like, I am the master of my body, I am the healer, I am the, conduit, whatever feels right. And come up with as many as you want to, and then recite them daily. And the more that you do that, the more repetition you do, the easier it will be, and the more powerful it will become. And then over time, it helps to change the false beliefs of like, I am tired, I can't do this, I'm not good enough. So like my peeps who are struggling to see or struggling to feel, say, I am feeling, I am seeing, I am knowing, I am hearing, I am, all knowing, I am all seeing, I am all feeling. Say all of the things that you want to become, and retrain your brain to get rid of those beliefs that believe that you can't, or that you don't, or that you won't, because that's the only way we do it, is by retraining our mind. Our beliefs are so ingrained in us, it takes at least 30 days to reprogram the false ones, or the ones that we believe in. So try to do that for yourself. And the other one here is find the image of Sri Yantra to Om with. Now, you can find one online, or you can use the one that's in the book. It's on the next page. It's the second page for me, because I have my book a little different, because I have it set up for doing this with you guys. But this is the Sri Yantra. And so I want you guys to meditate with this. Now, basically, by doing this exercise, you're basically covering a few of them. Because it says breathe and meditate with a focus on the base of your spine. So right there, you're breathing consciously, and you're tapping into the Kundalini energy at the base of your spine. Now, you could take it a step further, and you could chant, or hum, and basically be taking care of this. As long as you're doing something that's raising your vibe on the daily, it's all good. You don't have to be doing every single one of these things every single day. This is going to help you to just kind of raise your vibration and be connecting to the energies and, you know, doing what you're meant to do. Because for me, like Om can be kind of like and it takes a lot of time, and it's slow, and I'm more of like, I would rather chant, you know, like like, and get into like a flow. So you may be somebody that wants to rather chant with this, and that's fine. Or somebody that's just going to breathe with it and hum or Om. It doesn't matter. But basically, by doing this practice, you're kind of, you know, doing all of the other ones except for the affirmations and the gratitude. But when you're done with this visualization here, you could recite your affirmations and the 10 things that you're grateful for while you're still looking at this, you know. But basically, tap in by breathing, so you become aware of your breath, consciously breathing. Breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth, and I would do that for a couple of breaths until you're like nice and centered, staring at the center of this. And then you want to bring the focus to the base of the spine. Once you do, you might want to be aware of any sensations or movements that you feel. And if you're not a feeler, don't freak out about it. Just know that there's something going on there. And then allow the energy to climb the spine in a figure 8 and be receptive and open to whatever arises within and around you. So that means it may be something that just comes to mind like a thought. It may be something that you feel. It may be something that you see. You know, like you may see like something moving around in here. Because when you stare at something with relaxed vision, stuff starts to change. The energy starts, like, you'll start to see the energy moving. You know, sometimes you'll start to, like, you know, these things, the lines will start to move and stuff. It's going to be dependent for everybody. But if you're doing it and you're breathing slowly and you're, you know, humming or chanting or oming, you'll probably have something go down with this. You know, even just me sitting here with relaxed eyes looking at it now, like I can see like it kind of changing. You know what I mean? So when I say relax, don't stare at the image. Just like relax your view and look at the center of it with your focus on at the base of your spine. And then I want you to imagine like the energy climbing up, going around the root, going around the sacral, going around the solar plexus, going around the heart, around the throat and around the third eye, up around the crown, and then back down. And, you know, just see it going like in a figure 8. It does, and you don't have to imagine it going perfectly. Just know that that's what you're imagining, is that happening on up and then down, and just allow it to go. And don't overthink it. Don't over visualize it. Don't overdo it. Just allow the energy, just know that's what you're doing and feel it. And maybe close your eyes for a minute to kind of feel that energy coming up around all of the different chakras. And then when you feel like you've got it up top, bring it back down around the other way. And that's when you know, once you feel it kind of flowing, or know that it's flowing, or you know how you have that visualization down, then bring your awareness back into the center of this, and then you can start chanting or humming or oming, doing whatever feels right to you. If you want to do it in silence, do it in silence. Again, these are your daily practices, so I want you to do them the way that it feels right for you to do it. I gotta plug in my phone. Hold on one second. Okay, so those are your daily practices. Now we're going to talk about the root chakra. And like I said, this one's going to be longer than the others, but everyone moving on from here will probably be shorter because I'll cover the daily practices in the first video. So basically, the root chakra, the bonus work for you guys, I wanted you to wear or eat red when possible throughout the process of level 1, because we're connecting with the root chakra, and the root chakra, you know, the corresponding color is red. So you don't have to be psycho about it. You don't have to be like, I gotta wear red every day, or try to find stuff, like don't go out buying stuff, whatever. Like if you've got a red rock, go outside and look for a red rock to put in your pocket. If you have, you know, just anything that's red that you can bring with you, you know, you can bring that with you. Don't make it a big, huge deal. You know, you could even make something for yourself, like, if you've got crayons and things like that, if you've got kids or something, you know, draw yourself something that's red. But basically, just connecting with the color red is going to help you to connect with the root, okay? And again, it's just when it's possible. And then try new grounding techniques, okay? So grounding is done in different ways. I've been shown different ways. Basically, you can do it through visualization, and I know some of people are like, I can't do visualization. It's basically like, and I get that, but like, try to just imagine, you know, instead of like, trying to see every detail of something happening, just like imagine, like put yourself out there, okay? Be like, all right, there I am, like right in front of you. Like imagine a little tiny version of yourself, and then see that little tiny version of yourself, see the little bum, have like roots growing down out of it into the earth, going straight down into the core of the earth. And it doesn't matter how you imagine the earth, it doesn't matter how it goes through the earth, like if they twist and they wind or whatever, but just like start off with something simple like that. Like, okay, that is what I want to do. So then you can close your eyes and then imagine that that's what you're doing, okay? Like feel that you have roots coming out of your butt and push them down into the earth. And you can, if you want to get into it even more, you can imagine that they are like winding and twisting and, you know, like, you know how roots like twist around stuff and like spin and get really rooted into something? You can do that down into like the rocks, the big rocks that are in the earth, or go all the way down to the heart center and connect with the heart of Mother Earth and see your roots like going right down in there and, you know, connecting and squeezing into that energy. So that's like a visualization you can do. Or you can use crystals and stones. A lot of like the black stones are good for grounding. So like tourmaline, jet, what is the other one I always forget? There's tourmaline, jet, there's Apache tears, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Obsidian, and then they have like red jasper, they have all different types, and they don't have to be black or red. They can be, there's other stones out there. You can look up the ones that are out there. Now the thing is, if you don't have them, you don't actually need them. Now that you have the vortex, you can ask to bring in the energy and frequency of a certain crystal. So if you're like, ooh, I really want to work with tourmaline, but I don't have any, you can ask to bring the energy and frequency of tourmaline into the vortex. For me, I sometimes go down into the earth for that. So like, I would visualize my vortex opening, and then like that third one that we've got down into the earth, I would like imagine that as it's going down into the earth, it's like connecting with tourmaline deep in the earth, and it's absorbing all of the energy and frequency of that tourmaline, and it's bringing it into the vortex, and it's bringing it into my energy field, you know, through that pillar, okay? So however you want to do it is fine, but like don't make it a big deal if you don't have stones. You know, you can just ask. And that's something too, I know a lot of people were having a hard time with like grounding after doing activations and stuff. Try bringing this into your vortex during the activations, and that might help, so that you're not having such a big like, I can't get back type of thing. Then we have walking barefoot. So wherever you live, you know, depending upon like the environment and stuff, going outside, it's called earthing, without shoes on, without socks on, just walking on Mother Earth with your bare feet is a great way to ground, and it's a great way to connect to Mother Earth, and that's going to bring you back into the present moment. And all of the things that I just gave to you for daily practices are, again, good ways for grounding. Breathing consciously, chanting, you know, tapping back into your physical body are going to be good ways, okay? And so even the meditations that I give you are going to be good ways for grounding, because we're going to be grounding to the present moment, bringing you back into the moment, and then we're going to do the Kundalini, which is connected to the root. And if you're somebody that for whatever reason is like not sure if you want to do Kundalini stuff yet, that's totally fine. Listen to your intuition. If it's like, I don't want to do that, then don't do that. All right, so we're going to talk about the root chakra. Again, it is connected with red, and I do have a article on my website for the root chakra. I'm going to try to add the other ones too. I've got the root and the sacral done so far from my old website. I transferred them, but it takes time and energy, and I haven't gotten all of them done yet, but I'm going to try to get them on for this so that you guys have them. But basically, it's about instincts. It's about your safety, about survival, about grounding. It's about your family, your security, boundaries, and new beginnings. It's your basic needs. It's your survival. It's your inner child, okay? It's your physical self. So that's things that it's like associated to. And then there's associated body parts. So you have like the coccyx, the anus, the large intestine, adrenal glands, back, legs, feet, and bones. So if you're having any issues with any of those things, it may be indicating to you that your root chakra is not okay. So if like you're having family issues or your, feet are messed up, your root chakra may be messed up. So you would want to work on that or like look into it more, okay? And the color red stimulates strength, vitality, and it stimulates your instincts, okay? So that's why like connecting with red helps the root, because it's going to give you more of the energy you need to connect, with your basic instincts, with your survival skills, with the strength and the vitality you need. Another couple of things that you could do to help your root chakra would be like gardening. Putting your hands into the dirt is something that, brings you right into it. And then cooking is something that's helping you with your root chakra. Hiking is something that would be good. And some of the things that can be like signs that there's like an issue is when you're insecure, if you've got a lot of insecurities, if you're aggressive, if you have sexual dysfunction, if you're angry, resentful, restless, if you've got any type of eating disorders, you can kind of have an issue within the root chakra. And again, when I do the meditation, I'm going to try to get rid of like the scarcity mindsets that people can have, and release fears that people may have, and help with like tapping into your true needs and help with manifesting abundance. And then the overall well-being of the chakra is related to your childhood and upbringing. So, depending on what happened as a child is going to probably depend on your chakra. This holds core beliefs and family wounds. So, like I've been saying throughout the whole thing, our beliefs impact so much of us. So, like, what you've been taught by your parents and by school and by, other people is basically either going to limit you or assist you. And a lot of times the things that we're taught are limiting, or the things for whatever reason that we're like, oh, let me believe that or hold on to that, they come from trauma, or they come from, fear, or they come from anger. Because those are things that we pay attention to. Like when someone's pissed off, or like we look at them, we pay attention, we remember it. So a lot of times we can have wounds and beliefs that come from trauma. So exploring the core beliefs that you have and, taking inventory of how they may not be assisting you will greatly improve your life, because then you can replace those. And then releasing the limiting beliefs tied to loyalty and family expectations is also liberating. So sometimes we have belief systems in our family of like, like you can't marry this type of person, or if you ever go there, or if you ever do this, or if you ever do that, like I'm going to disown you, or you're not being a good, whatever your family name is. Getting rid of that shit will really help you to empower yourself, because it comes from probably their parents, who came from their parents, okay? And it probably comes from something totally insane that has no reason for being. And it just limits you, and it puts you in guilt and fear, and it's like, it keeps you from living the life you want sometimes. Because sometimes you're going to meet a person that you really want to be like friends with, or maybe you want to be romantic with somebody, but if your family was like, if you ever date so-and-so, or this type of person, or if I ever catch you doing this, you're going to have like, and it will make you have snap judgments on people too. You may not be racist, but you can have racist types of thoughts based off of what your family did as you were growing up, or said as you were growing up, and it can make you feel guilty because of their beliefs that were like ingrained into you, but you still know are wrong, but you still have them in there because they like ingrained them in you so badly. So trying to break out of those things are going to be good and beneficial for you. It can also be connected with relationship and trust issues, which originate in the base chakra. So as well as fear, insecurity, concerns related to the maintaining of employment, of your securing savings, and the flow of your income. So the root chakra is huge with relationships, which I know a lot of you guys have had issues with, and manifesting money or feeling secure within money. If you don't feel secure, if you're constantly like, I need more of this, I need more of this, I need more of this, like you're going to block yourself from getting more of it. And if you are insecure in relationships, you're going to cause a lot of problems in a relationship because you're all freaking out over nothing. You know, like your insecurities are going to project and you're going to like assume the worst of your partner. And that could be based off of a previous partner or based off of what you saw as a child or whatever. But becoming aware of our insecurities, becoming aware of our fears, and then reprogramming them through affirmations and new belief systems and through gratitude and through doing things like grounding into the present moment and, you know, asking ourselves questions is going to help. So all of these issues can be healed by shifting your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions will allow you to experience the safety that you deserve. And I know because I lived in horrible conditions and like had nothing, and I was so ingrained into it that it was like nearly impossible to break out of it, but I was able to do it just by changing my thoughts. And it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to say a few affirmations and a couple of things you're grateful for and then have $1 million. But if you stick to it, you will eventually reprogram your whole brain to constantly, instead of look for negativity or constantly go to those places that are not helpful, you'll start going to the more beneficial things and you'll start thinking more positively and attracting more positively. So if you are experiencing any ailments within the associated body parts, they too can be improved upon through the clearing, healing, and balancing of the root chakra. And there are various techniques and therapeutic tools available for each healing and balancing of each chakra. So the color is red, the element is earth. With aromatherapy, you could use scents such as vetiver, nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger, myrrh, and patchouli. So you could get like, you could make a blend, like I make blends. I might make like a series for the whole chakras, but basically you can get just like myrrh and patchouli and put it into like a diffuser, or you could like mix those two together in a carrier oil and use that to help you with your root chakra. You could get some cinnamon that doesn't, just like have cinnamon around that you can smell, because aromatherapy goes through like your like ability to smell. It goes when you put it on like an oil or when you spray it on your body, it goes through the bloodstream. But a lot of it is inhalation. So smelling these things will be beneficial. So those things can help you. Then there's sound therapy. So listening to music played in keynote C or the frequency 256 hertz is effective in balancing the root chakra, as well as natural sounds like thunderstorms and earthquakes. The root chakra's mantra is Lam. So you could do Lam when you're doing your daily practices. That could be a chant that you would do. And you can go right onto YouTube and you can find root chakra balancing music to play in the background while you're doing your daily practices. You can find music now that people have made specifically in that hertz, 256 hertz. They've got them for everything. They've got the binaural beats and like all of these other things that they do. So you can definitely find what you need to find. Or if you are more into like the natural stuff, find something that sounds like a thunderstorm playing. Listen to that in the background while you're or while you're, writing your list of stuff, getting some myrrh and patchouli going. These are all things that are going to really help you to balance your root. Participating in yoga classes or just exercising in general will be very good for your root chakra. Meditation outdoors or sitting on the ground will very much benefit you to balance. Then we have bloodstone, obsidian, onyx, hematite, tiger's eye, all enhance the root chakra energies. And then energy therapy, like energy healing sessions, Reiki, crystal healing. the new paradigm, Theta healing, they all greatly improve the health and energy flow within the chakras. And the root chakra is vital to the health of your chakra system because the energy travels upwards. So ensure if your root is blocked, then you're blocking the energy flow to a lot of the other ones. It's probably still going, but it's not going as good as it could or should. So that is most of what I have about this. Then I had questions for you guys to ask yourself if you want to write these down and really think about them, or just play this part back. It's at 40 minutes in the video, so you guys can timestamp it and say the questions I want to ask myself. This is if you're serious about changing, you know, because this is your basic needs and survival and your money and your work and your career and all of that. So if you're having issues there, relationship, insecurities, issues like that, start asking yourself, like, do you have all you need to live comfortably? And whatever your answer is, like if you're like, no, ask yourself, like, what do you need to live comfortably? Because honestly, you probably do, but you might think you don't, or you might feel like you need more to be comfortable. But that's from systems and beliefs from the world of thinking that you've got to have like a freaking $9 million mansion with immaculate stuff and all this craziness in order for you to live comfortably. We used to live outside and have to cook our food. Like, we didn't even cook our food. We had to kill our food to get food and do all this stuff. But Mother Earth provides everything you need. So I always tell people who get really freaked out, like who are like having a really hard time, it's like, even the worst thing that could happen to you, like, you will still survive. Like, even if you had to like have no house and just like live outside, like Mother Earth still provides everything that you need, like food, water, shelter. It may suck, it may not be as comfy and cozy as you're used to, but you will never be without. Like, you will always have something that you need here. If you know, get into your instincts in survival mode, you will have that. So try not to go to those fearful places, you know, try to know that you always have what you need. And then like ask yourself, like, are you feeling like you're struggling, or do you feel like you have a strong foundation with your financial status? Like, what is your financial status? Am I struggling, or do I have a strong foundation? Ask about your living conditions. You know, like, are you keeping your stuff clean? Are you keeping your stuff organized? Or is it chaos? You know, because those things are going to make a big difference too. Because if you're living in chaos, it's going to feel chaotic inside. If you're, you know, feeling like you don't have a good enough foundation financially, that's going to cause you to believe things about yourself that are going to limit you from moving up. It's going to impact everything that you do. Like, even the way you shop is important. Like, I used to go to the store and be like, okay, I've got $30. And I would count, like, you know, I'd go to the Dollar General and it would be like, all right, $3, $6, and like adding it in my head to make sure that when I went to the register that I could buy everything that was in the cart. And then when I started learning this stuff, I stopped doing that. And so I wouldn't go in and be like, and get 6,000 things, because I knew I still didn't have enough money to get everything I wanted to get. But instead of like being so like focused on the fact that I gotta be, I would go in and just get what I knew that I like needed, your basic needs, and I would, you know, do it smart enough that I was like, all right, like, obviously, like, this is under $30, this amount of stuff. And I would go to the register and it would always be less than I thought it was going to be, so I'd have more money in my pocket. And then things started showing up, like more work would be coming in, more things and opportunities, more abundance would be showing up, people were tipping me more, and it just starts to like have this domino effect. So then the next time I went to the store, it was like I could put more stuff in the cart and I didn't have to worry, you know, about it being at $30, because now it was at $100, and then it was at $300, and then it was at $1,000, and then it was at $5,000, and then it was at $10,000, and now it's keep going. So you just gotta get yourself out of that mindset or that place of like, I don't have, and I can't have, and I can't have, and I gotta count, and I gotta be, because even the way you shop, like if you do that, is gonna limit yourself. So then, are you connected enough to the natural environment? You know, like, are you spending enough time outside? Are you, when you go outside, are you connecting to it? Or are you bringing your phone with you and are like sitting outside for 5 minutes and like, yeah, this is nice, I'm going back in to be weird. Go outside, you know, go out into the natural world, get outside. And then, do you have fears about like the threat of the end of the world, Because I know that's one of the things that can come in with people who go through the awakening. Sometimes people go down the path of like the New World Order and the blah 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 and like all this stuff, which I get. I know like there's things that exist and there's stuff that is bad, but they've been saying that the end of the world has been coming for like forever. Okay, 10 years ago when I had my awakening and I found all that stuff, I was like convinced that some bad shit was gonna go down really soon, and I was like, we're gonna die. I told the guy I was living with, I was like, we gotta get out of here, we gotta go somewhere. I'm like, they're gonna turn the Walmarts into whatever. And he was like, what? And I'm like, that's why the Walmarts are empty. So if you have fears about the threat of the end of the world, or do you trust that you and your family will be okay? Like if you've got fears about the end of the world, try to release those, because it's unlikely that like a lot of the stuff that people put out there is going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day, unless all of us start really focusing on creating that reality, because you create the reality you live in. So if you start focusing on that reality, you're going to start seeing more stuff that makes you think that stuff, that makes you like confirm that this is what's going to happen. And it kind of like sucks people in. Like I see people go like, woo, and sometimes they go way too far. Sometimes they have a healthy skepticism and a healthy balance between the two. And sometimes they're just like completely cuckoo. So try not to go to that place of fearing the end of the world or being like wicked afraid of like the whole COVID thing, which I know is a big scary thing. But the more fear you give to it, or the more consciousness you give to it and energy you give to it, the more power you're giving to it, the longer it's going to be sitting around here, becoming a part of our world. And you got to like not disassociate, but we got to like not give so much power and energy to these things, because it's just going to make it worse. So try to know, deep inside that, and trust that you and your family are going to be okay, or that, you and people are going to be okay in general. Like I try to just know that like they're going to figure it out. And then look at the history of the world. We're still here. And there's been some pretty bad things that took out a lot of people. And sometimes it's like Earth's natural way of clearing up the Earth. Sometimes it's something else clearing up the Earth. Whoever it is, whatever it is, just try to focus on being okay. You're here for a purpose. You have a reason to be here. And when you leave here, it will be the reason like that you chose to leave here. It's all predetermined. You've already decided when that will be. Like, I don't have a fear of death anymore, because I tried to kill myself so many times and I literally could not die. Like, I'm like, what is wrong with me? Because I should be dead. But I didn't die, and there was a couple of times that I actually did see shit. So I know that there is something going on to keep me here. So if you're not ready to go and it's not your time to go, you're not going to go. And even if shit hits the fan tomorrow, like I said, everything you need is available on the earth. So try not to freak out about it. And know that you'll still, like, if you're meant to be here and survive and go through an apocalypse or whatever, you'll do it and you'll get through it. And then, are you resourceful with life challenges? So think about that. Like, are you resourceful? Are you able to like scrounge up stuff? Like when I had no money and no food and stuff like that, I could like go into the pantry and bring it together some weird ass shit and make an awesome meal. Like the first time my ex went to jail, I had no job and no money, but I was able to like pay all the bills while he was gone and keep the house going while he was gone. And it was so weird, because I'm like, how did I do that? And like I had a check show up for the exact amount of money that I needed for something, and it was through manifesting, like, and through them providing. Like they always provide exactly what I needed when I needed it. Sometimes it wasn't like, crazily abundant, but it was like the lessons I needed to go through too. So if you're struggling now, know that he's probably teaching you something. And then once you learn that lesson and you start breaking out of those limitations and those beliefs, you're going to rise up and you're going to go to a better place. Okay? And then, are you resourceful with like, financial challenges? Are you resourceful with health-related challenges? Are you resourceful with your job-related challenges, etc.? Like, think about how you are in regards to these things, and then think about how you can become more resourceful. Like, what are, look into information about how to like, be more resourceful with what you've got or what's going on in your situation right now. If it's job, if it's health, if it's finance. And then, do you feel like you have enough support where you live? Like, is there a support system around you? Do you have friends or family or anybody that supports you? Is it like something like this that supports you? Try to focus on what supports you. And if you feel like you don't have support systems, start asking yourself questions about like, then why am I surrounding myself with these types of people who I don't feel like any support from, whether it's your family or not? Because I know after my awakening, I stepped way back from a lot of people, and it's like you might feel guilty at first, but it betters your life. Then don't feel guilty about it, because there's obviously a reason that there was something wrong there to begin with. And then strong roots to support you anywhere. Do you feel like you can support yourself anywhere you go? Do you feel like you have strong roots? And, you know, just kind of ask yourself these things and start asking yourself how you can have these things, how you can feel this way about yourself, okay? And then some other things that could be issues that, you know, might be physical symptoms are like constipation, weight issues, fatigue, back pain, insecurity, poor decisions, anxiety, and detachment, okay? So if you're dealing with any of that type of stuff, again, you might want to start looking at these other areas. And then to balance, just standing up can help you. Rinsing off in the shower can help you. Get moving, like move your body, can help you. Just be mindful, you know, mindful of these types of things, like, am I being resourceful right now, or am I being kind of like, am I being somebody that's, am I being supported right now, or am I not being supported? Is this somebody I need to kick the hell out of my life? You know, am I creating some of this, or is this somebody else? Like, are you going to take responsibility, or are you going to keep putting it on other stuff? Are you going to keep believing the shit that's keeping you stuck, or are you going to start changing those beliefs? And then dancing can help, and stretching and breathing can help. So again, everything I put into the daily practices will help you. And then we're going to talk about Kundalini. I probably should have done these in little videos, but whatever. So the Kundalini is divine feminine energy at the base of the spine, okay? And that's, again, what we've been talking about, like when I said connected the energy at the base of the spine for the daily practice. That is your Kundalini energy. So it is divine feminine energy, and it is a source of power. It is a source of chi, energy, prana, okay? It's a source of the life force. Now, it's also consciousness too. So it's coiled at the base of the spine, and it's there since birth. If you took the Moon key with me, we did talk about this too, when we got the pi stones, like how it's wrapped around the base of the spine 3 times, but it's like 3.5 times or whatever. It's 3.14, the pi. It's wrapped around the base of your spine pi times. And then Kundalini Awakening triggers the energy to uncoil. Okay, so it's usually like wrapped around there like a snake, and an awakening will trigger that energy to uncoil and rise up the spine. And it can be slow and steady, or it can be fast, okay, and like, whoa, it can be really crazy and like overwhelming and intense, or it can be kind of, you know, snake-like and slow. So it can cause changes in the physical, emotional, and psychic body, and it's going to increase psychic abilities. It's going to, you know, like open you up, and it can be something that can cause stress in vulnerable parts of the body, like if it's something that you're not used to. You know, like some of you went through some discomfort when you had like your crown awaken through the vortex opening. You were like, this is uncomfortable, what the hell is this? That can happen with Kundalini Awakening as well. It can make stuff happen in sensitive areas of your body. So it's also going to open your mind, your heart, and shift your perspectives. It's basically like the awakening that most of us probably have been through, but it's just coming from inside. And it will also cause unique sensations in everybody. So it can be like shaking, vibrating, spontaneous movements, visions, and phenomena. So I believe that I had one of these things happen to me, because I remember one day when I lived at the house where I was like starting my awakening, I was coming down this, and I had a bunch of weird shit happen after this, but I came down the stairs, and when I got to the bottom of the stairs, it felt like a bee went into this ear, and it went, and then it went out the other side, and it was so intense it knocked me off of my feet. Like, I fell onto the stairs, like, and it was so weird. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And I could like feel it. I could feel it through my body. I felt it everywhere. It was like all of this information came alive inside of me. It was like, all of a sudden I had all of these questions, all of this information, all of these like sensations and feelings, and then I started seeing like little shadows and shit, little lights out of the side of the corners of my eyes, and I just knew something was up. You know, I was like, this is weird, but it was after that little buzz thing. So I feel like it can be as simple as that. You may not notice anything going on with your spine because something else may happen that you're like, what the hell is that? So just know that, you know, it can cause, you know, maybe your Kundalini energy's already been awakened and like it's doing other shit or other stuff happened that you're like, I don't know what that was. It could be Kundalini, okay? But basically, it will gradually help you to release the patterns, the conditions, the delusions of the separate self. So it threatens the ego. It threatens the structure that like, you know, comes from ego-based thinking, the belief systems that we've been talking about, the bullshit that we hold on to, the things that we should be changing about ourselves, the things that we keep doing over and over and over. And it can cause a loss of interest in your old life, your old identity, and your ego-centeredness, which is a good thing, I feel, depending upon what your life's like. I mean, you're living a beautiful life, and you're abundant, and happy, and healthy, and normal, and everything's wonderful for you. You know, you probably won't happen. But if you go through a Kundalini awakening, or even just an awakening, I feel, and you're surrounded by narcissists, and you're living in, you know, just bullshit drama, and your physical body's a mess, and your emotional body's a mess, and your mental body's a mess, your awakening is going to push you out of that mess, one way or another. And I feel like the Kundalini can be like a push even further into the, like, get the fuck out of there, because it's just going to make you like you're uncomfortable to the point where you can't ignore it anymore. You're going to have awareness of the issues. You're going to be like, how did I live here for so long like this, you know? So it could make you like be like, you know what? I don't want to be with you anymore. And I don't want to live here anymore. And I'm not going to work here anymore. And I'm not going to do this anymore. So it can also make you feel like you're going crazy, which I remember I was like, I think I have schizophrenia. I looked it up. I went into all the shit about it because I'm like, this must be what's wrong with me. And it wasn't. It was an awakening. So some of you, again, may have already kind of had this awakened, and you just might not be aware of the fact that you had it awakened. So it helps you to connect with simplicity, contentment, unconditional acceptance. Presence are aspects of an awakened life. So just like being present, being aware, you know, feeling unconditional love, you know, just coming into simplicity, like not needing craziness. Like, now that I have money, like, I don't buy shit. Like, the only thing I buy is stuff for work. I'm like, my Amazon, the only thing that comes from Amazon is like bottles, oils, and supplies so that I can make my products and send them out. So it's like money just keeps coming in and it just keeps getting put into the bank because I don't buy anything for myself. I bought myself this, which is an Alcyone Light Healing shirt. Like, I'm not spending money on stupid shit because it's just like simplicity's okay. So you'll notice that, because like before, when I would get money, like when I had money, because I had money at one point, so it was like I grew up kind of like, you know, we were like middle class, and then I had money, and then I had nothing, and now it's like I've got money again, but I'm not doing the stupid shit that I used to be like, I gotta go get the newest Coach bag, or I gotta go get this, or I should have had a new car freaking months ago, years ago. Like, I've been looking at cars for over a year, and I'm like, but mine works. Like, I'm not in a big rush. I don't need one. It'd be nice to have a nicer car, but I don't go anywhere. So what do I need one for? So you get more to a simplistic, like, it's not that big of a deal. You know, like, some people would be like, oh, let me go get a car immediately. Let me go do this immediately. Like, they're just too focused on, like, how they look, how they appear to others. So old habits, addictions, relations, family, diet, work, career, everything comes up for review. And if it's not in alignment, it's going to be removed. Physical, emotional, energetic symptoms will arise. So sometimes you can have like anxiety, depression, despair. But usually I find, and that's going to be indication to you that like you're not happy where you are. Like, because I had that happen after my Reiki 1. I was like, I woke up and I was like, oh my God, there's more to life. There's like all this information and all this crazy shit's happening. And I was like outside in the middle of the night looking at stars, and I bought a telescope, and I'm like a weirdo. And it was like an emotional high for a while. And then I went to Reiki 1, and they say that this can happen, like you can have like a healing crisis. After my Reiki 1, I went back home and I went into the basement, and I didn't leave for 6 months. Like, I just stayed there, and I was like, and it's because I was miserable with my person. I was miserable with like my conditions. I was living in a mold infested, no heat, no nothing, like shitty situation. Couldn't leave if I wanted to, type of thing. And it was just like, ugh. So anxiety, depression, despair will come up if you're not in where you need to be. But those are all going to be like pushing you to get where you need to go. You can have like shaking and visuals and things like that. But for the most part, most people, when they go through this, it's kind of like, it's like a slow process. I feel like some people go like through an intense awakening and some people go through like a slower process. It's just dependent upon what you signed up to do. But then there'll be a willingness to try new things, a willingness to leave old jobs, old relationships, a willingness to change your diet, you know, in response to this new energy that's coming through you. You'll be like, I want to take care of my body. Like, I remember I started like eating hummus and stuff, and I'm like, this is weird, because I'm not like that. But you'll also have miracles and synchronicities appearing. You will find the right book, the right person, the right, you know, whatever. Like, it's like you're always guided. Like, people always say, like, I feel like I was guided to this video, or I feel like I was guided to you, or I feel like I was guided to this, or I feel like this information, like the pile 3, I was guided to pile 3. Like, so that's why it makes me think a lot of you guys have already kind of had some of this, and that's basically either gonna kickstart it more, or it's going to enhance it more to go through like the Kundalini Awakening. For some of you, if you don't really have big, huge experience from it, it's probably because you already had one. And if you know, have a big experience from it, try not to go to fear, because then you'll create shit that comes from fear. So I know some people are nervous about Kundalini, and I think that's because the way that people, like the yogis talk about it, they're like, oh, it's scary. Like, they make it sound scary. It doesn't have to be scary. It's only going to be scary if you make it that way. So then you can become more sensitive to food, media, people, and places. I haven't watched TV since I've lived here at all. And I wasn't watching TV like at my last house. The last house, there, like, I have a TV down there, but it's not hooked up. The last house I was in, there was a TV hooked up, and occasionally I would sit in the living room with like Netflix on, but I was always doing work, so it was like background noise. I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV in years because it programs you. There's shit in there that's like made to make you feel shitty, or made to make you look and want like the next best thing, or, you know, feel like you need to be prettier or smarter or better or have this or have that. So I try to stay away from that. And it's like, it's everywhere. It's in your social media. It's on, you know, everything that you do. But you might find yourself be more sensitive to like to movies and, you know, news especially. I try not to watch the news because it's like set up to mess with you. And then an awareness of internal energies, intuition, and the inner truth is all, again, stuff that can arise from having an awakening with your Kundalini. And basically that's just going to help you to be more aware. And then an increase of compassion, a desire to be in service, and to recognize like oneness. So like we kind of, like most people kind of like know about the concept of oneness, like we're all one, blah, blah, blah. When you go through an awakening, it's like you feel it. You feel like the oneness. You are aware of the oneness. It's like you tap into the oneness, and the oneness is. And it's like saying it and knowing it are two different things. Or having like the concept or the feel, like the knowing and the concept are two different things. So you may have a more interconnected feeling to all that there is, and when you have that, you realize how interconnected everything you do is, however, how interconnected everybody is. It's all just like little ripples inside of this continuous thing that's like expanding and expanding and expanding. And it's like no matter what you do, it creates these little or big huge ripples, and it's like it just it's all interconnected basically. But you'll have more of that understanding and more compassion and desire to like be aware of your ripple, be aware and be in a place of wisdom and compassion when you connect with other people. And then you're going to have the sense of a purpose, a sense of destiny, you know, and a feeling like a desire to express who you truly are, and to feel a connection to the divine more and more, and to begin to do what you're meant to do. And it's like eventually you come out of the starseed closet, or you come out of the spiritual awakening closet. Like a lot of people awaken and then they spend so much time like, I don't know if I'm ready to awaken or tell everybody that I'm awake. I don't know if my mother's gonna think it's normal. I don't want to tell my friend, or, you know, like they keep stuff hidden. Like there was so much stuff, like when I lived with that guy, that I didn't even bother to tell him because I knew he was just gonna be like, whatever. Like I would try, but it was just two totally different worlds. And he even said it too, like when I went through the awakening, there was times he'd be like, you're gonna leave me, like he just knew. He was like, this is not like you're gonna leave, like, because I was waking up, completely different person. Stuff I was saying was like, who are you? So I changed. So yeah, you might change, but I feel like you guys, most of you, if you're here, you've probably already changed, but those are things that may come up more or may push you more, because I know like the beginning stages, like I was awake and aware and all of those things, but the changing part was like gradual. So the Kundalini stuff may make you go from gradual to like be a little more like, let me get it done now. So again, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, you don't have to. The grounding to present moment meditation and the Kundalini meditation I'll probably do tomorrow night, because I didn't expect this to be over an hour long. I'm going to timestamp it so you guys know where things are. And like I said, moving forward, daily practices will be in the overview video, so that will take at least like 20 minutes off of these types of videos. And then I might break up and do like boom, boom, boom. So hopefully this was assisting to you. And I will have the meditations available for you guys tomorrow night. And you guys have a whole week to use them at your, you know, well, you have forever to use them. You can use any of the activations, any of the meditations, anything I put out to do with this, it's yours. If you buy an activation, you know, use it more than once. If you see a meditation that you really like and you connected with it, use it more than once. Take what resonates for you and utilize it, okay? And my knowing people, like if you want me to do like a separate video or something, like a Q&A to talk to you guys, we can do that, because I know it's hard to do, knowing, like to feel connected or feel like you're getting anywhere with stuff. So maybe we can talk and I know firsthand and we can see what will work for you. But other than that, thank you very much. In Mune, namaste.